to Little Shorts with Mandy, and it's Jen and Latifa. Am I getting that right? So tell us a little bit about how you got together as a band, Mama Said, as it currently exists.
So I came into audition for a cover band that she was singing in. And as soon as I walked in and she started singing and we started singing together, I was like, I don't care how I'm singing with her. Like I was so impressed by her voice and the way our voices blended. It was so satisfying. And
Yeah.
I ended up getting the gig. So we were singing together in this band, but we were really successful. And, cover bands make a little more money than original bands typically. So we were making money and having a great time, but you just had that call that you would not stop knocking.
I always I told everybody, I'm like, y'all, we have to write an album. We have to write an album. And there's a huge festival in our town called Bottle Rock. I mean, where all the name brands go.
Right.
But I just had my sights on that. I'm just like, we have to write an album. We have to play this festival. We have to do it before we were parents and in our midlife. So I was like, now is the time. So we started to write. We wrote our first album.
So we blew up The Good Thing, the band. We blew it up and just started over from scratch. And we did start writing, and then COVID hit. So it was this weird, we were ready. We had some songs. We were kind of ready to go. And then every, live music shut down. As we all know, we were quarantined in our houses, and it was lockdown. But we actually just took that as an opportunity. So we were like, okay, well, now we have some songs. Let's go in the studio and record. We can't play live. So the timing actually, everybody has their COVID silver linings, and that was definitely for us.
It was such a blessing. Yeah. So
yeah, it must have been tricky for sure. And, even just, you know how you sound together, but how do you sound in front of an audience? And as a band, I'm sure that was something like you were dying to find that out. Now, on your website, you say, and I want to get this right, that you are a band that defies age, gender expectation, and you kind of mix genres in a little bit. Can you speak to that a little bit for us?
Yes. Well, Jen and Derek, they're married. And so Derek's our guitar player. And so I think that Derek, I know you can speak to his influences, but we both love kind of guitar driven, soulful, kind of the classics, Led Zeppelin, Allman Brothers. I grew up in Georgia on a lot of just, gospel influenced. So I'm always going to want to bring that blues and that soul. And then
but I like that, but also I was kind of a rocker. I liked Joan Jett and Melissa Etheridge and Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
And so those were my vocal influences. So the interesting, during this time in COVID when we couldn't play live, it was actually kind of good because we really took the time to dial in, like, what is the intersection of these diverse, not so diverse. I mean, it was, excuse me, under the umbrella of rock, but we had to sort of find that intersection, that where does Mama Said live within that. And our producer Jim McGorman was really instrumental in that. So he's in LA. Latifa's known him forever and ever, since the early days when she was like shopping a cassette tape demo.
So Jim McGorman is our producer, and he's a member of the Goo Goo Dolls. And when I was 24, he did my first, I moved out to LA, wanted to get a record deal. He did my first cassette tape, and we wrote and produced my first cassette tape then. And then he went off on his life journey. I went off on mine. But then when COVID hit, I was like, I'm just going to email him, I'm going to reach out to him. And it was just divine timing because obviously the Goo Goo Dolls were not on tour. So we were able to go down and do our first album. Actually, we've done 2 albums with him now, but our first album
we were testing and we had, we were in a pod and, I remember it was in different pods for COVID. So we just the pod and tested every time we went down there before and after. And, it was and then just holed up in the studio, and it was such a wild time. And it
What a
was
strange time. Yeah.
right, because it was like the world was sort of losing its, like everything was falling apart. Everybody was so
Yeah.
scared and
Yeah.
anxious. And yet we
Yeah.
were also like having this beautiful time of creativity and connection.
Yeah.
And it was
Mm-hmm.
such a yin and yang happening in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good time, I guess, to connect, like you said, and make some music together. And tell me a little bit about the dynamic of having two leads. That's not that common in, in a band, right? You have like a front usually, and then you have someone who does some singing, but you usually have like a main lead. So how do you navigate that with both of you kind of playing the same role?
Easily, really easily, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, she and I both have our lane that we have just
Mm-hmm.
come into, and we fit perfectly. On the high harmony sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But really our voices really line up well, and they
Mm-hmm.
it's even been like in a
You
way.
sound amazing together,
Thank
I
you.
must say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we record, producers will say, "Oh my God, your voices line up in the same sound wave."
Yeah.
Like I think we
Yeah.
have the same vibrato, same resonance, and just because we also have been singing together for 10 years, so she knows where I'm
Right.
going, where she's going. So what used to take a lot of rehearsal and structure and practice, I think we just do that naturally now because we flow in that
Mm.
way. And
Mm-hmm.
and we both have our strong spots, So
Yeah.
I think what's beautiful about it is like when I met her, it was very satisfying to sing together. But more than that, we just had a chemistry
mhm.
together as
Mm. Right.
humans,
Yeah,
so we've become now such deeper friends and
yeah,
soul sisters, really. And so there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
healing that we go through together, and we've
hmm
become best friends. And this is, so there's just like on every level, there's just a chemistry. And it
there
doesn't mean
really, yeah.
that we're not like, there are times when we have to work
Be
things
careful
out.
what
Yeah,
you
I
say.
know. No, like she'll like a part, but I like that part. So but it all
Right.
kind of shakes out in the wash. But I mean, that's kind of another way we sort of defy expectations. I mean, there's not too many dually female
Yeah,
fronted groups. There's not too many,
Right.
being a
No.
woman in music and rock
that's right.
is also sort of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not as common. And then also
Right.
we're of a certain age. We're not in our 20s,
Yeah.
so there's
Right.
like all these ways that we kind of defy
Mm-hmm.
the norm.
That was kind of like one of my questions actually is, so aside from the fact that you have two sort of leads, you're both female
hmm
and you are both, I'm not going to say old because you're the same age as me.
Right.
You are experienced, right?
Oh, I
So
like
Yeah.
how does that how do you find that you fit in the new sort of, let's call it like emerging artist scene of the music industry, where traditionally and typically you'll see a lot of younger people?
Yeah,
Do you feel different? Do you feel the same as the young kids? Like, how is it?
I mean, we are definitely not trying to be the young kids.
definitely.
Mm,
It is
yeah.
really part of our mission to authentically be who we are, which is proudly
Right.
Gen X. We're moms.
hmm
We're,
Mm-hmm.
so we're not trying to be that. And
hmm
you're right. I mean, the business is what it is, but we kind of don't care.
We do. I think.
Right.
I think for us, like, if after live shows and when we talk to women and men, but a lot of women come up to us and say, "Oh my God, you guys are doing it! You're doing it!"
Right. Yeah.
At our age, after raising our children, it's the
Yeah.
second act of life. And I think that's the thing that's most empowering because we don't care. We
Right.
don't
Right.
care.
Right.
And there could be a lot of negative voices. One of my children was just saying yesterday, she's like, "Mom, it's so embarrassing. Why do you want to be
Of course.
a star?" So I think we're here we genuinely, because it's how we are in relationship, love and empower each other. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we take on stage and we want to put into
Mm-hmm.
the world. It's never too
Right.
late. It's
It's
if
No.
not.
never too
No.
late. Follow your
And
passion.
there's a huge audience of us, Generation X out there who wants to look to musicians who are of our vintage and
Yes.
making music like we used to listen to. But tell me about, how do you find the balance between taking sounds from those bands that influenced you, like Zeppelin and Heart, we'll say, and all of those groups, but ensure that you're finding a sound all your own?
Well,
I mean,
I think a lot of it has to do with our producer. I mean, we come with our ideas, and it's up to, Jim to kind of bring it together. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
He's really good. He has a pop sensibility. He's been producing pop songs for, he's worked with, I mean, he's incredible. Gwen Stefani, Cher, Poison, Avril Lavigne. I mean, he's incredible. So he really has that of bringing like acoustic pieces or samples or whatever that sort of bring it up to date. But we really try to stay true to our sort of raw rock sound.
Yep.
That probably comes off more in a live show because we don't have all of the bells and whistles that are on the actual album. Right. But yeah, it's just kind of who we are. I don't know. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah. It's a feeling maybe in some cases, right? Like it's hard to put your finger on exactly what differentiates the sound that you're working on. But tell us a little bit about your songwriting process. Do you draw inspiration from like a sound that you hear? Do you work around lyrics? Do you write together? Tell us a bit about that.
I think all of those things. I mean, sometimes it's just like words a hook coming up, and you just hear a melody, and that's the start of the song. And then or maybe Derek comes up with a riff, and we build around it.
I was the one who I'm always the negative one, and I'm the negative voice in the room, which is kind of funny because they were like, "We're going to do grounded. An album." Yeah, I keep us grounded. That was a better way.
Right. The voice of reason.
Yeah, which is really not. I've learned to put it aside because what they have done in the songwriting realm, in spite of my expectations, has been amazing. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to write it. That doesn't make any sense. In fact, I really had to come around. I was like, we're too old. I had those voices. We're too old. What are we doing? Like, we're going to play bottle rock, whatever. Like, this is, right. These are all pipe dreams. I don't know. We're busy. We have kids, but they just got together, and it was literally in my own living room, and I'm upstairs and I'm like, that's pretty good.
She would say, no, go to the chorus now. Like she would poke her head in. But
I was backseat driving from upstairs. But I was hearing what's coming together, and I was like, oh God, okay, I really like it. And it's really actually quite satisfying too. So but also on our second album, Jen is brilliant with lyrics. Like she's gifted. So but it's the truth. And so like when she stepped into that, oh my gosh, like she can come up with really catchy phrases and just you're a fast thinker, I'm so lucky to have
her.
And
so Jen, are you do you write most or all of the lyrics, or do you kind of balance that out between all of the members?
Not all, but I do. That's sort of the pull I hold, where she does melody, Derek does riffs. Right. I'm more, I lean towards the lyrics.
Yeah.
But what is important to me is like, we really want to write about grounded topics. We really, it's been done before. It's not, unique, but it's kind of cliche, but we want to sing about love and connection and empowerment, but it's rock and roll after all. So we want to find a way that's not so heavy handed, or we're not trying to take ourselves too seriously. We want to rock out.
Definitely.
But those themes, it's important to us that those come through.
Yeah. Right. And inclusion and unity, like bringing people together of, all walks of life is very important to us.
There's a place for everyone at the table. And that's what showing up as Gen X moms, like demanding a seat at the table, or is kind of we've kind of consider ourselves rebels in some sense.
Yeah, we do.
And is that how you would describe your newest album that you just released? Is called Made of Stars. Is it? How would you describe the sound of that album for someone who hasn't heard anything from it yet?
It's so badass. It is so cool.
I like it.
Yeah, because it's so us. It is so us as coming together, the three of us. it really represents the rock edge, the guitar driven, soulful, but yet rhythmic choruses. Like, I mean, I feel like we really captured everything we wanted to capture. And the, you know, for me, the spiritual piece, like I feel like the empowerment piece. So yeah.
It comes out the gate swinging. Our first
Yeah.
single, we just released it earlier. Was it last month? I don't even know.
Recently,
less than 2 weeks ago.
Recently.
Our recent single. Oh yeah, October 17th.
Right.
But it's called Dreamers Generation, and it just starts with a huge rah, like it's bold.
It is very bold.
We like it.
And
I like what I've heard, and we won't tell too much about the new single because Jen, you did a little collaboration with me for New Music Monday, so we'll save the story behind the song for that.
Yes.
But tell me, you know, as a Gen X mom myself, I can only imagine how busy you are trying to balance the mom life, the wife life, the family life with your musical career. I don't know if you work other jobs at all. Can you tell us about how you find that balance?
Yeah, we're failing.
There's fair enough.
No,
but I mean, truly, music is sort of our escape. So it's where, you know, it's where we want to go at the end of the day, especially when it's stressful, and it's a refuge, really. And it's one of those things, you know, if it doesn't make sense, really, you know, at this age, like commercially and all the like, but we can't stop. It's like we're sort of like hashtag can't stop, won't stop. We're just it's where we want to be. Yeah. So it drives itself. I've tried to quit music so many times in my life, and I've sung for decades. And I was 9 months pregnant on stage, like nursing backstage, you know, and it just keeps knocking on my door, and
it's your passion, right? So
it is. And so until something changes and I don't want to do it, or I can't do it, we're just going to make it work.
Yeah. And, you know, and balance is definitely trying to have that balance. You know, I have a real supportive husband who really honors and respects me wanting to do this at this time in life. So he's like, we make a good team, and, you know, he's got the kids and I let him have them.
And she's got five kids.
I have
5 kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I have
so you are busy.
teenagers at home. So I feel like, you know, I've kind of graduated a little bit, but definitely trying to balance me being a present mother and following my dreams. Because I think she and I both can get real blinders on, like we just go. That's how we really have a good synergy in forward movement.
Yes.
I guess that helps, you know, that you have each other. So you're kind of living a shared experience, and then you have a supportive partner at home that helps you with that. Your kids are getting a little bit older, so there's not so much, you know, caregiving that needs to be done. And so you kind of get to explore things that interest you as a person. That's what I find at this stage of my life. I'm 50 now. My kids are, you know, older. And so it's time that we can kind of get back to focusing on things that maybe we enjoyed before we had kids and all that kind of stuff. It's like a second childhood in a way, right? So
right. Totally. Like, you know, be an influencer, a podcast host. Let's it's a beautiful time when our kids are more self-sufficient. We can start making choices for ourselves.
I think,
and we've got all of this life experience now to draw from too, right? And so having said that, at your experience stage in life, what advice would you give your younger self or somebody new starting out, a younger woman starting out in the business?
Oh my gosh.
Like, I know there's a lot. But
like me personally, I was such a hustler. Like what I've learned now is to just flow, just like relax a little bit. Like it's okay. Like I always kind of felt like there's not enough time. I've got to do all these things. Like I just sort of want to do everything all at once. And it's just slow down, because, you know, there's time for it. And it's like, you can just, I don't know. That's for me. 'Cause I hustle too much. I put myself at risk for burnout. So
I think I would say divine timing. Like if I could go back and just say, Latifa, you have a divine timing, like, and just trust that, like relax into your life, have the joy and the beauty in the moments that you have, you know, and like it would have helped all that angst I felt, you know, like, oh, I got to make it happen. I got to make it happen. And then for me in my journey, once I started to have children, I kind of went on a spiritual path, and I stopped singing. So I stopped singing for like, I want to say like maybe 12 years. I was like,
Oh, wow.
okay, I'm a mom, not that I'm just a mom, but I was fulfilled in my being a mother. So I just thought, okay, I guess that was a dream I had, and I really let it go. And then I found it again, or it found, I don't
Like
know.
there are chapters in life, it's like you don't have to decide what your college major is and then just do that forever.
Right.
I mean, I've had a handful of careers, and now I'm doing something totally different than I would have expected. But so
I think that's nice for even other people our age who are still trapped in that mom life. I think for women especially, there's kind of this, you can't do both. At least when we were growing up and having small kids and that kind of thing, right? Like you were a mom, like you say, Latifa, so you gave everything else up.
I did.
And I think it's good for younger women to see that, no, you can do both, right? Like there are priorities obviously, but you don't have to shut down other things.
yes.
Right?
And
Yes.
I can relate to that sense of a middle-aged woman feeling like, yeah, but how? Like, how do you start? It feels so locked in a deep place and so inaccessible. But I'll tell you, one step, just do one thing.
One step.
Literally just one small thing, just start. So, things gain
start
momentum.
the ball rolling. Yeah,
Just start one little thing and see where it leads, and have that curiosity about it. I mean, if you're like, and I have to be this, if it has to, you can't necessarily wrestle it into what you want it to be, but just have curiosity about it, see where it leads. And that I feel like energetically calls in the potential.
Yeah. The doors keep opening. And that's, we just keep the doors just keep opening, and we just keep, moving through each door.
I don't even, do we have goals? I mean, not really. I don't know. We do, but
I got one goal. I'm going to sing in stadiums.
Yes, there you go. You got to dream big, right?
No.
Tell us what's coming up before we go here, tell us what's coming up for Mama Said in terms of releases, touring, shows, that kind of thing.
So we are in the thick of it, releasing and doing all the behind the scenes, getting our videos and pictures and doing, and also getting ready for next season. So we're in kind of the office hours of Mama Said, you have to, there's a season every year of performing. And so we're pitching but mostly we have just been, we still got to get videos done for the rest of the songs. We've got 12 songs. So
album releases, we're going to be releasing singles throughout the rest of this year and next year. We've got 12 songs to release. So we've only got one down, 11 to go.
Okay.
Touring, we haven't quite cracked that with kids, but who knows? Maybe
someday
we'll tour.
soon.
You want to tour?
I do.
Where should we go?
Very soon. Yeah.
We'll come to Canada.
Yeah, okay, that'd be great. Where is the best place that people can find more out about you and that kind of thing?
Join us on Instagram. We're at Mama Said Band NV. We're from the Napa Valley, which it's not that rock and roll, but we're like Mission chefs and vineyards. But sometimes we say the San Francisco Bay Area because we're from San Francisco. Yeah. Okay. But so Mama Said Band NV. We're that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're Mama Said Band, I think. And mamasaidband.com is our website. So you can,
Right. And I will link to everything in the caption as well. So people can just click on the link and find you. Yeah. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed our chat, and I'm looking forward to following your journey.
Thank you. So we appreciate you.
Mandy.
Thank you.
Girl power.
Yay.
For sure.
Girl power. Thank you.